Welcome back to my 100% playthrough of Vanguard for Doom 2 on the Ultra Violence difficulty playthrough GlBoom Plus. We are doing all levels with a pistol starter, and this is map 10, Superstructure. Let's begin. Alright, we get pretty much every item except the plasma gun and the BFG, but we're gonna get the BFG by going over here, grabbing all this stuff, and then heading on over towards this part to destroy these guys. And we're gonna ride up through this part, and let's just avoid all the projectiles as we run into here and start firing the BFG a little madly. Because there are plenty of enemies that can easily be killed by it, especially the Manky Bai and the imps in particular, who are in a very high quantity in this map. Now, one thing you can also try to do is get the shots from all the other enemies to hit them, but you can also switch between the rocket launcher too, which can probably help you a little bit, especially with encounters like these that require a little bit of splash damage. Just a little bit. You do get plenty of rockets to help you deal with these situations, but I like to go into this area first because it's kind of the hardest, because you'll see in a little bit. For now, you just want to clear out the rest of this garbage. Especially enemies like the Manky Bai and Arachnotrons, because they'll be the most intimidating enemies of the lot. There's also remnants here. You can get rid of them with the rocket launcher, and they should be too difficult to take care of. As for these guys, like the imps, you can save them for later. Just make sure you get rid of all the enemies like the Arachnotrons and Manky Bai first. All the mid-tier enemies gotta go. Alright, so like I said, there's plenty of ammo for the BFG, there's also plenty of ammo for the rocket launcher. If any enemies like the Cacodemons will try to follow you into here, you can just get rid of them with the rocket launcher. We're just going to clean this out first and take our precious time before we do anything else, because, you know, this map is not too difficult when you know what you're doing, but if you rush through it, it can kind of really stack up. All the enemies, if you keep them alive somehow, they will gather quite easily to destroy you. Alright, so I'm going to grab more rockets here so I can get rid of these Cacodemons more efficiently. There's also some imps that are coming through as well. We're basically just doing a little bit of cleanup before we flip the switches up here. And after I kill this Cacodemon, I think we'll be good to go. Alright, so we're going to flip the switch, which is right there. And then there's another one, which is all the way over here. Once we flip those, once we flip those, this part will open up. There will be some Manky Bai here. And some other enemies, like more Cacodemons and a Pain Elemental, two of them actually. And I think there's more on the other side too, unfortunately. So we're going to expand the BFG a little bit to clean up this mess, especially to mess with the Pain Elementals. And yes, that is a Cyber Demon over there. We'll be getting rid of him soon enough. I just want to get rid of the big, the more annoying enemies. The big meatballs. While we're out, we'll just inspect the area here. I mean, just look at all these enemies. There's also 2 supercharges we can grab while we're out here. I'm going to grab one, which I just did. Because I want to make sure I have, like, a little bit of insurance against this guy. Not only that, there's a spider demon in the room where the cyber demon is. Now, you can get them to try to infight, but no promises they'll be effective. Speaking of spider demons, there's actually 2 of them. Yeah. Now there's a supercharge, or a megasphere even, in this room, which will help you deal with the absolute worst of this lot. You'll be able to get your health back, but when you grab it, these Barons of Hell will try to take that health away, but if you can dodge projectiles, you shouldn't have too much of a problem with them, but eventually some more enemies will come in, like the Pain Elementals, Cacodemons, and Remnants, of course. Now you can be a little willy-nilly with the BFG usage, but you don't want to go too overboard. You can switch to a rocket launcher every now and then to help you clean up the mess. It all comes down to dodging projectiles for the most part, and lost souls in some cases too, which are kind of monster projectiles, if you want to look at it that way. You might be able to guide some of the Seekers into other enemies, like Imps, if they come into this room, which will deal damage to them, but when you're done with all that, you can finally grab the blue key card. Now, we went through this area first because it's one of the tougher parts. Now, there are some other parts that are pretty tough, but I think the blue key card area is probably one of the hardest parts of the map. Anyways, over here is a secret with partial invisibility. I'm gonna grab it just because I want to tag the secret. And hey, we might be able to get a little bit of use out of it by getting some enemies to infight a little bit more, due to the fact that while there's a bunch of projectile tossers, they'll be tossing projectiles all over the place, and that could be advantageous to us, but maybe it won't. But while we're there, we're just gonna go into here, clear this mess out. And also, there's a chain gunner here, and also, there's 2 archfiles. So thank goodness we got rid of them, huh? There's also remnants here. Spooky skeletons, yeah. We're kind of just waiting it out a little bit. But you can go out here once you clear out that room if you want to grab the Mega Spear. I don't need it right now, but I could probably use it later. But if you need it, you go ahead and grab it. I actually might need it sooner than I thought due to these guys. But hey, partial visibility's gone. Now, partial visibility can be useful for these guys, but as for like shotgunners and whatnot, no promises. Well, yeah, maybe shotgunners though, but we got rid of most of them right here, and sometimes they like to infight, so I'll talk about the projectile throwing monsters like the Revenants and the Mancubi, and of course, little and big imps with varying degrees of health. You can use the rockets to get rid of these powers full of them, I suppose. And you can kind of just do it in a little circle. And if you hear that rocket firing sound, yes, that is another Cyber Demon, unfortunately, but, you know. He can help you a little bit, potentially. I wouldn't count on it. Anyways, I'm gonna go through this portal in the water area there, just to reposition myself, because this part with all the remnants is kind of annoying to deal with whenever you aren't in a good position and haven't gotten rid of all of them. But it's not that bad. We're just gonna bait the rest of these big imps around. The pink and beige imps. While we're at it, we'll get rid of these bony boys. And of course the Cyber Demon's still there chilling, so we'll just let him do that still. While we clear out the rest of the skeletons. The agitating skeletons, you know the drill. I think we got rid of most of them. If not all of them. But we still have some Seekers following us. So, let's just get out of the way, of course. I might have knocked one of them down into the water, which is fine, but we'll have to actually go down there and deal with them. But still, it shouldn't be too bad. Yeah, because if you knock any enemies down here, which you probably will from all the rockets, you can just go down and double check this area to make sure they're all dead. In fact, I'm gonna do that right now, because I'm pretty sure there's also some stray imps here. And like I said, they're low in health, so you can just use whatever weapon you want against them. Even the chainsaw can be useful in a part like this. I know, using the chainsaw in Doom, classic Doom. How ridiculous, right? Well, we're gonna go into another slightly ridiculous area. Probably not that ridiculous at all, but still can be a little bit ridiculous. Either way, we're gonna flip the switch. There's a few friends here we're gonna get rid of with the rocket launcher, all while avoiding the range of the Cyber Demon. because he can really screw you over from this angle if you let him. You kind of don't want to see him, and you don't want him to see you. See what I mean? Now, he's missing those shots, but you never know. It's a better safe than sorry kind of deal, you know? I think he might be in an infight with Mancubus, though, which is fine by me. As for this area, we're going to grab this real quick. And now we can head back up to this part. Now we got some Mancubi coming out. We can clean them up a bit more efficiently since they'll be coming out from here, and we're in a better spot. A spot where the Cyber Demon won't be able to destroy us with rockets. I'm keeping them alive, kinda, for later, but, you know. Now there's some other rocket-throwing enemies here, sort of. There's remnants, and there's also our good pals, the chain gunners. Now you can use the rockets to get rid of them, but I used the super shotgun in this case, because I felt like it wasn't all that effective though. Oh well. Either way, we're gonna go into here, clear out this mess. There's a few enemies here that we can get rid of. And there's even more up here, especially these remnants. We're gonna get rid of them right now, because I'm kind of tired of looking at these bony boys with their bony faces. There's a berserk pack here if you want to grab that, but I'm gonna save it just in case I need like emergency health or something along those lines. But once you've gotten rid of most of the enemies here, you can go through this part and just shotgun some of these guys down. But over here, big rocket boy. So let's BFG him poorly. And this is where the berserk comes in, right? I knew I'd need it. And hey, while we're here, we'll grab the supercharge and the green armor. Now this is unfortunate timing for me because I could never get the BFG rhythm down right with the Cyber Demons. If you can do that, you can probably destroy him in 2 hits or less, but I'm just going to do the rocket dance with him. Because I have no patience for dances right now, and we can take our precious little time on a map this invigorating, I suppose. So now we gotten rid of him, we can go back up through here. We kind of got knocked away from him due to getting hit with a rocket. This part's a little dark, so it's not too hard to get hit with a rocket. It's not easy to dodge, even. But over here, we're going to clean this part out because there's lots of pinkies in it. Gives you plenty of cells in the process, too. We're going to use the super shotgun on them because why not? And over here, there's a helmet boy, but there's also a mega armor. I'm gonna pick that up, and I know I haven't used the green armor that much at all, but it doesn't really matter. It's good to have health either way. We're going back up here one more time just because we need to do something else. We need to grab this key, and in order to grab it, you have to flip the switch, which lowers this pillar with the yellow key card. Once you've done that, you should be good to go. But now we're gonna head back through here, and this time we're gonna go into a new area, one that we can do rather easily if we are careful, but you know, you can never be too careful. Anyways, once you flip the switch, a bunch of chain gunners will pop out. They're pretty scary, but you can kind of avoid their wrath if you just head around here and just rocket them. And since we have the mega armor and the supercharge, we should be able to deal with that rather easily. Now, since we have a lot of cells, we can kind of spam them. We're going to especially spam them for this part with the pain elementals, because I don't want to deal with their pain right now. There's some Hell Knights too, but you can dispose of them rather easily and efficiently if you just hold down the fire button to win. There's a Cyber Demon too, but you know, you can get them to get around. Odds are you can kind of get them to infight too. But as for this guy, there's an Archvile, yeah. So you can kind of get him to infight too. So just hide around in a general spot. It shouldn't be too difficult to get him agitated, because he's a piss-off Martian. He's really easy to piss off. We're just gonna let him infight. Yeah, see, the Archvile is rather easy to get into infights. I kind of don't want to hit him yet, because I might hit him at the wrong time. So there we go. Alright, so now we gotten rid of the Cyber Demon here, we can get rid of the big imps and the little imps, and let's punch this guy out. And you too. Come on, charge at me. Are you gonna charge? There we go. I use your chainsaw, whatever. This stupid chainsaw ruining my single press to activate the fist thing. Whatever. No more rambling. We got everything we need here, except for the red key. And while we're at it, we can grab the ammo. And I think there's just 2 more enemies. One of the last ones, at least, is the Cyber Demon. And the second to last one is probably a stray enemy, like an imp or something. Either way, you can double check around here if you want to grab the rest of the ammo, if there's any left. There's probably some ammo for the shotgun and the chain gun. If you happen to need that, you can grab that, but odds are you've probably gotten everything. So let's just go through the portal, it'll send you back to this area, and then it'll take you back to where we began. So now, we're head back here. I hear the stray imp, so we'll deal with him in a little bit, but for now I'm just going to get rid of the Cyber Demon. And yeah, since I have health from the supercharge, it's all hunky-dory. Now where did the imp come from? I don't know. There you are. Alright, that's the last enemy. It should be, at least. Yeah, we got everything except all the items. If you want to grab all the items, you can do that if you want to be like certain other YouTube walkthrough fellows. But you know where they are at this point. But we're just UV maxing it, and we've done that. We got all the keys which are required to open this door. Once we flip the switch, we'll be sent into this area, and we have to go forward. And that's it. That's the episode done. We did Superstructure, and we got 100% of everything, and I took my precious time with this level because it is a little tough, but at the same time, you can get through it if you're pretty patient, which I was. Now, I did this a little bit faster on my practice run, but I wanted to take my time because it's... If you want to do this level fast, you have to take a lot of risk in order to do it. You have to just go in and make sure all your shots with the BFG hit. Now, this is a decent map to practice that if you want to try out your tracer shots, if you want to time it right, but if you're a kind of casual Doom player and want to get through this map in one go without having to perfect your BFG shots, which not even the best Doom players have 100% perfected them yet, or maybe they will someday. I don't know, I'm rambling again, but this map can be pretty tough if you don't take your precious time with it, but even then, it still can be a little bit of a challenge. But that's it for this episode of Vanguard. We did all the levels of the quote-unquote second episode because the episodes of Vanguard are shorter than Doom 2's episodes and whatnot, or Doom 1's for that matter. But anyway, stay tuned for the next video where we go into map 11. But until then, toodaloo.